Good morning. Hello. I'm just gonna get the link here and start sharing to everywhere. If you're here, if you can see me, say hi. Good morning, Heather. Just gotta get the link to the YouTube video in a couple more places, and then we'll get started. How's everyone doing this morning? Fridays feel a little bit different when every day we spend at home. Good morning, Akina. Hey, Michael. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Fatima. Hey, Jacqueline. Good morning, everyone. All right. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Navraj. Heather, you said you're glad you woke up today. I have a tip for that today. We're going to add a couple of things to the Good Morning Mustangs show with Miss Lindsay. I'm going to add a tip for the day. So stick around to the end, and I have a tip to sort of help you with some of what Heather's talking about there, right? Getting up on time and all that good stuff. Good morning, Jenna. Hey, Marissa. Good morning. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Cydia. All right. So I'm going to jump in. I'm going to add something extra today. I'm going to do a set of shout outs. Good morning, Mrs. Garcia. I'm going to do a couple of shout outs. I want to have some good news, some gratitude, anything that you have that is good news, something that you're grateful for. Go ahead and put it in the chat. I will share a couple. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Gunika. So any good news you have, any gratitude you'd like to share with us, put it in the chat. And here's mine for the day. First, I'm just going to do a couple of shout outs. The first one is to Mrs. Hellstrom, Mr. Faubert, and James Reed from IT. They have been making these funny videos while they're stuck on campus and sending them out to the teachers. And it's been so fun, so funny. Hey, Sunpreet. Hey, Pari. My next shout out is to some of my teacher friends. I have a bunch of teacher friends like Mrs. Garcia, Mr. Feinstein, Mrs. Lohman, Miss Savage, Mr. Campos, and they all had a game night last night and let me sort of pop in for a minute, which was really fun. It was really fun to get to see everybody. Navraj, it is nice to get to sleep in when you don't have to wake up at 6. Hey, Indy. Hey, Oliver. Ooh, Danielle, what new book did you get? All right, and then my last shout out is to a couple of honorary Mustangs. They watch, or at least have been watching, all of these morning videos that I've been making. Maybe not live, I don't think, but definitely they've been watching them at some point. And those are my parents. My mom and dad are also sort of stuck in their houses, and they get on each day and watch my video, and I think that's so fun. Oh, Danielle, you got a new edition of The Hate You Give. That's awesome. Hey, Gerald. Hi, Mrs. Savage. Charlize, you're here. I'm so excited. So yeah, tell me in the chat, what's good? Who do you want to give a shout out to? What good news have you had? What are you grateful for? Bring it on. Let's fill the chat with some good things. I forget who Spookmaster is. Is that Alan? Remind me who you are. Oh, Mrs. Savage, you started reading The Hate You Give. It's so good. Oh my gosh, you're gonna love it. Oh, Gerald, you got a boxing thing? Like something that you can use to work out? I love it. Valerie, what college did you get accepted to? Oh, see, now we're all excited about The Hate You Give. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, Mahum and Tavleen. Marissa says that they had a game night over FaceTime last night. That's awesome. Shout out to Danielle's parents who have to deal with her and her siblings. Yep. Alan, nice to see you. Oh, you got Tutti Frutti yesterday? That's awesome. Valerie, that is not just accepted to a college, you got accepted to two colleges. That's amazing. Congrats. Gerald, you're asking about what is the book. So, The Hate You Give is by Angie Thomas. It's about a young girl named Star Carter, and she witnesses her best friend being shot by a police officer, and it starts her on this whole journey of becoming an activist. It's a really good book. I really recommend it. Heather, what new game comes out today? Shout out to coffee because it's amazing. Absolutely. I will cheers to that. Oh, Jacqueline, you're getting to spend more time with your brother. That's awesome. Charlize, I am also grateful that you have the internet. I'm happy to have you here. Oh, these are so fun. Yeah, Navraj, absolutely. Join a different period Google Meet today if that works better in your time. That's awesome. Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing. All right. We got stuff coming out. I love it. Oh, it doesn't come out for 3 more hours, Heather. That's good. You can get your English homework done. Okay. So while you guys are adding all of those awesome, positive things into the chat, I'm going to start reading our poem for the day. Miss Lindsay has enough hobbies. Miss Lindsay does not need to play Animal Crossing. Thank you. I bet I would like it, but I got a lot to do. The first thing and really the only thing on my to-do list today says respond to 99 Flipgrids. So I don't have time for Animal Crossing. All right. Let me go ahead and read you our poem for today. Our poem for today is Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. We actually just read this one in AP Literature maybe just a week or two ago. But I love this one. It's one of my favorite poems, and it is such a lovely message for this moment where we can still rise, right? It's a really positive message. I really like it. So, Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I'll dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. So that's Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. Yeah, Alicia, thanks for putting the title there into the chat. That's helpful. Yeah, Charlize, it's one of my favorite poems too. I love it. And I was just thinking about it the other day, that this idea of us feeling sort of like trapped, constrained at home can feel like a lot, but it doesn't get to bring us down, right? We will also rise. We'll be fine. Yeah. So next thing I want to do is we're going to do our book talk. Today we're going to be talking about Jackpot by Nick Stone. It's a cool poem, right? It's so fun. So this is Jackpot by Nick Stone. We were just talking about The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. And the book that is similar to that I keep recommending is Dear Martin, which is also by the same author, Nick Stone. It's really good. This one's very different. So in this book, we have our main character, Rico, is struggling on Christmas Eve, I believe, because she is at her job. She works at like a 7-Eleven, a corner store type place. And she's bored. And this little old lady comes in and buys a lottery ticket and decides that she's going to buy two. And she takes one and gives one to Rico as like a Christmas gift. And the next day or the next week or whenever they pull the numbers, they find out that one of the tickets that Rico sold that night is the winning lottery ticket. And it's not the one that the little old lady gave to her. So she believes that it is the one that she sold to this old lady. And she wants to make sure that that woman gets her money because it's a beautiful, she was just a lovely old woman. And also she secretly sort of hopes that the woman will give her some of the money as a reward. Because Rico does not have money. She is the daughter of a single mother who works a couple different jobs. Her mom is always gone. And really Rico has to take on a lot of the responsibility of making money for their family and taking care of her younger brother. And she teams up with the richest boy in school to help her find this woman who she thinks has won the lottery. So I'm going to read just the first couple of paragraphs of this one. Okay. So the first chapter, and I like this, is called No Money, Mo Problems. Oh, the irony of counting out change for a $50 bill while Mo Money, Mo Problems plays in the background. Sir, I'm out of 10s and 20s, I say. I'll have to give you 5s and singles. Is that okay? It has to be, obviously. The man smiles and nods enthusiastically. Perfectly fine, he says, dusting off the lapels of his expensive-looking suit. Matter of fact, keep a couple of those singles and give me a Mighty Millions ticket with the mighty plier thing. I'll slide a few of the other dollars into the Salvation Army bucket out front. Despite my desire to snort, I know one shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But based on the Mercedes-Benz key fob lying on the counter, I'd say this guy doesn't need $212 million more dollars. I force the corners of my mouth to lift. That's very generous of you, sir. Barf. Nothing like a cheerful giver. The man takes his $43.74 in change, then grabs his mechanically separated meat stick and bottle of neon green Powerade. Thanks so much. He looks at my name tag. Rico. That's me, I chirp. Interesting name for a cute little girl such as yourself. And what interesting eyes you have. 2 different browns. Now he's winking. Oh, God. Thank you, sir, and thank you for shopping at Gas and Go. He tosses a Merry Christmas over the checkout counter before rotating on the heel of his fancy shoe and strutting out like he just won the lotto. Merry Christmas. Pfft, not much real merry about a 10-hour shift on Christmas Eve. It'll almost be Christmas when I walk out of this joint. And then I get to spend 30 minutes walking home since the public bus in this town stopped running hours ago. Good thing the crime rate in Snorcross, Georgia, is relatively low and it's not that cold out. I look at my Loki watch, a birthday gift for my baby brother Jax that I never leave home without, despite how childish it makes me look. 97 minutes to freedom. So she is so sassy. And that's how she is all throughout the book. It's a really fun read. It's not as heavy as like The Hate You Give or Dear Martin. It is much more fast-paced, plot-focused as they sort of go through this almost mystery adventure of like, who has this lottery ticket and how do we get them to actually cash it in so somebody can cash in on all that money. But even though it's not as heavy as maybe Dear Martin, it does still handle a lot of really intense issues, right, around socioeconomic status and class privilege and how do you have these interpersonal relationships with people who come from a very different background than you do? So I really recommend it. It was a really fun read. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is give you a tip for the day. One of the things that we were talking about yesterday during all of our Google Meet video chats, we sort of talked about how we're doing and how we're adjusting to distance learning. And the sort of theme that I kept hearing over and over again is that we're just struggling to stay focused, to stay distraction free, and to avoid like falling into those pitfalls, right? How do we still stay focused on our work and keep up with a good schedule? So one of the things that I really recommend, go to bed on time, wake up on time, right? And those times are going to be different than when you actually have to like travel to get to school. But give yourself enough time to sleep, but wake up at a reasonable time. And I would recommend waking up before 8 a.m., especially for this plan to work. So here's what I got for you. The best way to keep your schedule is to keep the bell schedule, right? We already know that the normal everyday bell schedule works for us. So keep up with that. At 8 a.m., get started on whatever is your first period. I'm going to use English as your example first period class. But then go through the rest of your day, right? So in the morning, maybe like 7:45, sit down and go through all of your Canvas courses, figure out what you need to get done today. Make a list just like this, number your periods 1 through 7, and then write down what needs to happen for that class that day, right? So if you had English first period today, you'd be working on reading for 20 minutes and then finishing step 2 of your passion project, right? If you have math second period, right, you would write your math homework here. Then you can really stay focused. Set it as like an alarm on your phone, right? That it'll pop up at 8:48, right? Our normal bell schedule. You move on from first period, but you don't move straight on to second period, right? In our normal class, you don't just like magically appear in second period. If you're in Miss Lindsay's classroom and you're going to like Miss Lohman's classroom second period, you got a 5-minute walk to get there, right? So really take that as your opportunity to get up and move, right? Get on up, move around, walk, maybe do some push-ups for Mr. Diaz's push-up challenge, whatever you need to do, but like physically get up and move. And then when you come back, not only will you be a little bit more refreshed, you'll be more active, but also your brain will be more ready. It'll sort of trigger it that it's time to switch tasks. So you can focus on just your math, right? Then when it's third period, again, stand up, get around, get moving somewhere, even if it's just pacing the room where you're working, whatever. Go ahead and do that. And then, right, sit down for third period. You can also schedule in like your brunch and your lunch, right? schedule yourself those times to eat. For your flex period, maybe that's your hangout time. Maybe that's where you're gonna get outside, and take a walk. Maybe that's when you're going to, take a nap. I don't care. Maybe you'll finish up tasks that didn't get done earlier. But do something, and that'll really help keep you on track, and then you won't feel like you have to work all day every day. So that should help. Gerald, he does have a push-up challenge. Yeah, Jacqueline's right. When you go to your email, you should have gotten an email from Mr. Feinstein, Mr. Lloyd yesterday, and it was a video that teachers put together. And in his part of the video, Mr. Diaz said, do as many push-ups as you can. Every day, add one. And that's going to help keep you active, help strengthen up your muscles, your shoulders, all that good stuff. Yep, I was in the video. Yeah, it was fun. And yes, I am indeed participating in the push-up challenge. I will not tell you how many push-ups I did because it's not very many. There are very few things in the world that I'm genuinely very bad at. Spelling and push-ups. They're at the top of the list. Yeah, Gerald, if you watch the video again, Mr. Diaz is like somewhere in the middle, I think. And try it. It's a lot of fun. If nothing else, it gives you something to do, something to work towards each day. And that's something. All right. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap up here. Let me know if you have any questions for me. Oh, the one thing I'm gonna do before we head out, I realized I didn't put in the name of the book for our book talk today. So I'll put that in there for those of you who were interested and want to check out, try to find some places to read Jackpot by Nick Stone. Also, I've been putting together this like massive list of resources for everything. It's like books, self-care tips, like art videos to follow along with, virtual field trips and like museum tours to do, and like just general. If you want to learn something new, here's a bunch of resources, and I'm going to post that in Canvas today. So just keep an eye out for that. So you have some resources to keep yourself busy, occupied, and having fun during this time. Cool. All right. Well, that's it for today, y'all. I will see you on Monday. For those of you who I won't see in the Google Meet today, have a great rest of your day. Make good choices over the weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, everyone.